Hey guys, welcome back for ACT Prep Week 7. Let's go ahead and reset our calculators before we begin. So we're going to do second plus 712, second plus 712, and then make sure you go in and you change it back into degrees from radians. So that's going to be under your mode button. And then second mode to get out, okay? All right, so we're going to actually work through problems 36 through 45 on ACT test number 2. This is the test that some of you guys took in class and actually did very well on. So I just want to, but these are the problems that most people miss. So I kind of want to go through those with you, okay? So number 36, this is a probability question, but it says during a particular experiment, 2 events A and B can each occur. Events A and B are mutually exclusive during this experiment. Which of the following probabilities is 0? So that means which one can't happen, okay? So mutually exclusive means that they do not ever happen together, okay? They are mutually exclusive. They happen independently, okay? So the only one that cannot work is the one that says and, because it's saying that the probability of A and B occurring. But that can't happen because they're mutually exclusive and the probability is 0. So this is going to be P, A, and B, okay? There's nothing to work out. It's more just knowing what that means. It means the and means both have to occur. But in this, it's telling us that they're mutually exclusive. So that's really a vocab word you guys need to remember, mutually exclusive. They don't happen at the same time, okay? There is another question like this on test 1 that we've sort of been struggling with. So I plan on helping you guys figure that one out when we meet again, okay? Because it's a little bit different. It's the same similar type of problem, but actually something is happening. And so we need the formula for that one. This one is just theoretical, knowing that when A and B happen, the probability can't be 0 if they're happening together. And this is mutually exclusive, which means they will not happen together. Okay. 37 says the polynomial function defined by p of x equals x to the third plus x squared minus 8x minus 12 has x minus 3 as one of its linear factors. What are all of the other zeros of p? Where are we going to solve this in our calculator? Not y equal. You could go there. Now look, that is you could go there too. Where else could we solve it?
When you go to apps, you go to the policy.
Yeah, so apps and then polysmelt 2. Let's go there first, okay? So apps and then polysmelt 2. You're going to go to the polynomial root finder, which is number 1. And then we're actually going to just put in the coefficients for these. The most important thing is changing the order to 3 because your exponent is a 3. So that's what order means. It's the highest exponent. So make sure you make it a 3. And you're just going to put in the coefficients. So 1, then you'll have another 1, a -8, and then a -12, okay? The other way you can do that if you don't want to use negatives is you can put the minus instead of a plus in between, okay? Once you hit graph, tell me what it tells you. Okay, so x, doesn't it look like this though? So x1, x2, and x3? Is that what it looks like? So what was x1? 3, okay. And then what did you tell me x2 was? -2, and then what, the same thing, okay. Okay, so first of all, the ones that duplicate, we don't need them twice. You only need it once, okay? This right here, this x minus 3, this is this first one. It doesn't exactly look the same, right? The format is different, but it means the same thing. So this is x minus 3. Remember, I've always told you your x is a liar, right? So instead of -3, that's going to be a +3. So our answer for this one is going to be +3 and -2. Okay, so +3 and -2. So this will be C, okay? Now, let's go to y equals because you can do it there too. So go to y equals and clear out everything. And let's just type this in right here, okay? Exactly the way it looks. In case you forget to go to PolySmelt, I want you to know you can go to the y equals key and let's see if we can get it solved there, okay? So when you put it in the y equals key and you graph it, what you're looking for is where it crosses the x-axis, okay? And this particular one is going to cross in 2 places, okay? So go ahead and put that in and then hit graph and see what it looks like.
-2 and +3.
Yep, so -2 and +3. Can you guys all see that? You can see it right there too? Okay, good. Awesome. Let's go ahead and move on. I heard somebody yawn. Are you tired? Yes? Okay. Okay, so this was one that kind of gave people some fits, but I think it's because of the way the table is done. So this is asking, Jonathan rode his bike every day for 18 days. The table shows each of the distances he rode. The table also shows the number of days that he rode each of those distances. What is the median daily distance in miles that Jonathan rode his bike for the 18 days? What is median? The middle, okay? So let's talk about mode. Do you guys remember what that is? What is mode? The number that you see the most, right? That's mode. Mean is just average, okay? And median is the middle. If you forget on the ACT, just think about, you guys all drive, right? Most of you. So just think about the median, and it's in the middle, right? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna list these numbers out. They have to be in order, okay? So for 2 days, he went 1 mile. So you have to list it twice, okay? For 4 days, he went 3 miles. So I'm gonna write 3 4 times. For 3 days, he went 4 miles. So you have to write it 3 times, okay? For 6 days, he went 5 miles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For 3 days, he went 7. Okay. So then what you do is you count your way in until you find the middle. Hopefully there's one number in the middle, so let's just try it out and see. So, actually, I'm gonna do this a little different. I'm gonna count like 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 1. So I don't have a middle number. I have 2 middle numbers, okay? But it's real easy to do that. All you're gonna do is take the 2 numbers that are sitting in the middle and add them together. So 4 plus 5 is 9. And then you'll divide that by 2 because we want the middle, okay? So divided by 2 is 4.5. Does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay. But just make sure that you're actually listing these out individually, okay? And then just kind of count your way in, okay? All right, so number 39 says a tourism organization randomly selected 100 tourists. That's important, okay? Finishing their summer visit to Spain, the organization asked them how many cities they had toured in the country. The table shows the results. Based on this data, for the population of tourists that visited Spain during the summer, what is the best estimate of the mean number of cities toured? Mean is what? Average. Average, good. So we're going to do 1 times 10 is 10, plus 2 times 40 is 80, plus 3 times 50 is 150. Okay, so that's how many cities were visited. So we're going to add those up, okay? So this is 240. And then how many tourists were there? 100. So we need to divide this by 100 so we can see how many cities each tourist visited on average, okay? So 240 divided by 100 is 2.4. Okay, so each person that went to Spain for vacation visited approximately 2.4 cities, okay? Have any of you guys traveled anywhere, like out of the country? How many cities did you visit when you went somewhere? Just one, yeah. Usually like you go to one city, right? I will tell you, when you travel with my daughter, you go to lots of cities and you're very tired because she's like, she wants you to just go, 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 go. I enjoy going to one place and sitting and relaxing. It's nice. Okay. All right, let's talk about 40 and then 41. Okay. So on the ACT, you guys, there can be multiple correct answers, okay? So number 40, several of these can be correct. Hey, y'all, make sure you're paying attention, okay? So several of these can be correct. So given the equation of taking the fourth root of x, it equals y, where y is a real number. What must be true of x? Okay, real number versus imaginary number. Okay, imaginary numbers, we're going to get an I. So what gives me an I when I take the square root? Do you guys remember? What kind of a number? If I'm taking the square root of a number and I get an I, what kind of a number is it?
Irrational.
It's irrational, but it's called imaginary, right? Because it has the I and it's a negative number. We can't take the square root of a negative number, okay? So I want you to try it in your calculator. So go ahead and put, do a square root. I know this says the fourth root, but I want you to do a square root and do negative 16. What does your calculator say?
This is not real.
Right, because it is not a real number, okay? So negative numbers cannot be used in a square root. Now I want you to try the fourth root, okay? So you get that by going to your math button and go down to where it has x as your cubed root or your square root or whatever. So you're gonna pick that one and then you'll input a 4 where that x is at. Put an x under the radical, or I'm sorry, a negative 16 under the radical and tell me what you get. Non-real answer, okay? So what kind of a number does this need to be? Can it be negative? It needs to be positive, right? So the most accurate answer here would be a non-negative real number, okay? It can be any even real number. That is correct also. It can be a rational number. Rational numbers are just anything that can be written in the form of a fraction. That's fine too. An integer is actually not correct because integers can be negative, right? So it's just whole numbers that are negative or positive. So an integer would not be correct. So the first two are correct, but the most correct answer for this is J. Okay, it needs to be a non-negative real number. Anytime you have an even root, you cannot take a negative out. Okay, if it was the third root or the fifth root, you could do a negative, but you cannot do it when you have the square root, the fourth root, the sixth root, any of those, okay? Has to be a non-negative number. Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all a question, and this is more theoretical, this problem right here, 41. When I need to get the biggest number possible, so I'm talking about your numerator and your denominator, okay? Which one needs the bigger number, the numerator or the denominator? The numerator, okay? So I want you to do this in your calculator just so you can see it. So I want you to get a fraction, and I'd like everybody to do it. That's why you guys are pulled out of class, so you can come in here and actually do extra work. So get your calculator in your hand and actually put it in. So you're gonna get a fraction, and you're gonna do 12 over 3 and hit enter. 4. Now I want you to do it the opposite way, okay? I want you to put 3 on top and put 12 on the bottom. You get 1/4, right? So obviously having the bigger number on top is what you want if you're looking for the largest number possible. So when you're doing this, so M is on top, correct? We're gonna go to the high end and use a 4, okay? N is on the bottom. So when we're looking at this range right here, we're actually gonna go to the low end and we'll have another 4. Okay? Then we have a 1 on top, and now we're looking at P, which is on the bottom in the denominator, so this needs to be on the lower end, so 8, okay? All right, and then why don't you guys put that in your calculator and tell me what your answer is.
What?
1/8, yeah, 1/8. So one place I could see you making a small mistake would be if you decided that you wanted to put the 10 underneath there, but which one is bigger, 1/8 or 1/10? 1/8, yeah, is bigger, okay? So you just really need to think about this. If we're trying to make the greatest possible value on the top in the numerator, we need to have the bigger numbers, and then we need to have the smaller numbers on the bottom in the denominator, okay? Does everybody understand that? Okay, good. All right. Okay, we're gonna spend a little bit of time on 42, okay? Actually, we'll just, okay, you guys definitely need your calculator for this one. So this says, which of the following data sets has the largest standard deviation, okay? So in your calculator, it will do this for you, okay? And I would let it do it for you so you don't accidentally make a mistake. So you're gonna hit, and I'll write it over here to the side, you're gonna hit stat, okay? And then when you hit stat, it's gonna already be on edit, okay? Hit enter. Does yours say that? Hit stat, it's right there. Yeah, so it's edit, so hit enter. So what you're actually editing are going to be the lists, okay? So if you have your calculator, you're gonna see that there's several columns, okay? And each one of those is a list. So that first column is gonna be list 1. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually type in each one of these, okay? And we're gonna figure out which one has the biggest standard deviation, okay? So go ahead, and the way that you do it is you start typing the numbers and put enter, okay? So 0, enter, 0, enter, 10, enter, 10, enter. Then go to the right to the next list, which will be list 2, and you'll put 0, enter, 1, enter, 9, enter, 10, enter. Arrow to the right again, and let's edit list 3. 2, enter, 3, enter, 5, enter, 7, enter. Okay, and then arrow to the right and do list 4 and put 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay? Okay, so the next step is we're gonna hit, and I'm gonna change colors, because you have to go back to stat each time, okay? So we're gonna go back to stat. This time you're gonna right arrow once over to calculate. Just make sure I'm, yep, and then it's always one variable statistics, and it's already on that. So 1 var stat. Okay, and you'll hit enter. And then what you'll have after you hit enter is you'll have those 3 lines sitting there. And L1, list 1, should already be sitting at the top. Go ahead and hit enter for me real quick. Just kind of looking off yours. So it says L1, so let's go down and hover over the word calculate and hit enter. Okay, so you have lots of numbers there, right? You're looking for 2. So SX is 1 standard deviation, and then the other one is this, like that. Those are both standard deviations, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so you got list, are you on list 4? Okay, so you can do list 4 first. Do you want to do list 1 first, though?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so come back up here. And do you see down here how it has your list kind of right here? So under, do you see list 1 somewhere right in here?
Like right here?
Yeah, so you'll have to hit second and then that one. Okay, so hit that, second. Now go down to calculate. You just arrow down. Oh, hold on, what happened? List 1, so second, list 1. There we go. Now just arrow down to calculate and hit enter. Okay. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So guys, I just pick one. It doesn't matter right now for us which one, okay? Just pick one. I would pick the SX, okay? So let's pick this one. What is that value for my list 1? 5.77. Okay, 5.77. Okay, now let's hit stat again. You're gonna go over to the right one time. You just need 1 variable statistic, so don't move that arrow, hit enter. Okay, now we need to change this to list 2. So you're going to hit second and the number 2. Yep. Okay, and then go down to calculate, arrow down to calculate, enter. What is that standard deviation? 5.22, right? So 5.22. Okay, now we're going to hit stat again. You're going to go over to the right once to calculate. You're already on one variable statistics. Let's switch it to list 3. So second and the number 3. Go down to calculate and then tell me what your standard deviation is for that one.
2.217.
2.21. We'll leave it there, okay? And then does anybody know just off the top of your head, what is the standard deviation of 5.555?
5.
You think it's 5? Okay, let's do it. Let's do stat. Okay, and then go over 1 to calculate. One variable statistics. Okay, you're going to change it to list 4. So that would be second and the number 4. Okay, and then once you calculate it, tell me what your standard deviation is. 0. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. I knew somebody would get it because honestly, everybody always says 5. They just do. But if it doesn't change, it's just 0, okay? So guys, I know that took a little bit for us to get used to, but I would tell you that this is how you need to do this, okay? Because the way that you normally do standard deviation is you're going to find the mean, okay? Then you're going to take each number and you're going to subtract the mean away from it. Then you're going to square it, okay? There's just a lot of steps. So I would not do it by hand. I would practice doing it in your calculator. The other kind of cool thing about this particular page or this part of your calculator is that it tells you your quartiles too. So if you're looking for that, the first quartile, second quartile, all that, it's listed there too, okay? So if you get that question on the ACT and it gives you just a list of numbers, go put the list in and have the stat button calculate all your data sets for you, okay? Your data points for you. So which one has the largest standard deviation? F, good. Now that took us a little bit, but honestly, if you practice it, it shouldn't take you long. It might take you a minute, okay, a minute and a half. The hardest thing is going to be remembering to do it, okay? Okay, how y'all feel about that one? If you remember how to get there, it's gonna be a real easy question to get correct, right? Because the calculator will do most of the work for you. Okay, all right. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember, but we've had this problem before. Not this exact one, but very similar. So I know we're gonna need a specific formula, okay? So it is volume equals pi r squared times the height, okay? So first of all, it's asking for radius. It gave me the diameter of 18. The diameter is the whole distance across. I only need half, so it's 9, okay? Michael has a cylindrical fish tank shown that has an inside diameter of 18 inches. When he put colored gravel in his fish tank, the water level of the tank rose 2 inches. What is the volume of the gravel in cubic inches? Okay, so it rose 2 inches, correct? Okay, so we're just going to use the 2. And all we're going to do is fill in our information here. So volume equals pi. My radius was 9. And my height that it changed was 2. So I'm going to multiply that by 2. If I look at my answers, they all have pi in them. So only put this part in your calculator. And what y'all get? 162 pi. Okay, 162 pi. So one thing that is a little different about this is we aren't actually measuring the volume of the cylinder. We're actually just measuring the volume of the amount it moved, which was the 2 inches, okay? And that's why we can just do 2 as our height, okay? All right, any questions about that? Nope, okay. All right, do you guys remember this one? Yeah, the composition? Okay, so I'll read it to you. It says the table gives values of f of x g of x and h of x for all positive integers where x is less than or equal to 5. You don't really need that. It's just extra information, okay? Given that h of f of g of a, and I'll say that again, that's how you say it, okay? Given that h of f of g of a equals 1, where a is a positive integer less than or equal to 5, what is the value of a? So this is kind of like a puzzle, you guys. We just start from the outside and we're gonna work our way in, okay? So h is 1, so I'm gonna come down my h column to 1, but I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna circle the x that goes with that, okay? So h of a was 1, okay? H of 2 was 1, okay? Now that we have that 2, we're gonna move into our F column, okay? So the F column, we're gonna go and find the number that we circled here, which was 2, okay? So I'll write that down. So let's see, F of A is 2, so these go together. Okay, and then F of 1 was 2. Okay, do you kind of see how I'm going? Sort of-ish? Okay, so these go together. So now I need to go to G of A. Well, the last number I circled was 1, so I'm going to go down the G column until I find 1. So this is G of A is 1. Okay, so I'm looking to see what A value gets me the answer of 1, and it would be 5. Okay, so G of 5 equals 1, and 5 is our answer. Okay, do you guys want me to do that one again? Yeah, I thought so. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll switch colors in between. I think that'll help, okay? 7, you look so tired. What's going on? You okay?
Yes.
Did you sleep last night? Kind of, okay. Sort of-ish, okay. Okay, so let's, I'll do red, blue, and then black, okay? We'll kind of go in that order. So I'm gonna write these out first. So we have H of A, and actually I'm not gonna put the A in there, is 1, okay? Let's go to blue next. Then we'll have F of whatever equals, and we don't know that yet, okay? And then I'll do black, and we'll do the G of whatever, and we don't know that yet either, okay? So what we're doing is they give us the answer here, so we're gonna find the A that goes with it, okay? So this is H. So I'm gonna go down my H column, okay? Down my H column until I find 1, and the answer to that would be 2. Okay, so I'm going to put the 2 here, and then this answer for my A becomes my answer for my blue, okay? So I'll write that in blue. So a 2 goes there. Then I'm going to go down my F column until I find 2, and the answer to that, or my A value for that, would be 1. So that comes here, and then that will transfer over to this area, okay? So let's see. Okay, so I'll put my 1 there, and then I go down my G column until I find 1, and then I look over and find my answer, and it's 5. So you're just working your way through each one until you get to the end. How y'all feel about that? I think you just need to practice it a couple of times, okay? I've probably, if you look in my notebook, I've probably done it like 7 or 8 times just to make sure I can describe to you guys how to do it. So I would say if you do it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you'll know what you're doing if you see it on the ACT, okay? And that was our answer right there, okay? All right, let's move on to the last one. Okay, this problem has sort of been stumping us a little bit. So each time coin C is tossed, it lands face up or face down. The probability of landing face up is 3 times the probability of landing face down. Okay, so 3 times face up, 1 time face down. Okay, so for every 1 time, it's going to land face up 3 times. Okay, when it lands face up, okay, it's $1. When it lands face down, they get $2. Okay, so we're going to multiply those out. 3 times $1 is $3. 1 times $2 is $2. And we'll add up our total, okay? So $3 plus $2 is $5. How many times did you flip your coins? 4 times, okay? So we're going to divide 5 by 4. So divide that by 4, and your answer will be $1.25. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. I think the thing that's going to throw you guys off is this part right here, this 3 times as many, okay? But if you can think about for every 3 times, 1 time, it's going to land face down. So that's 4 actual times you're going to toss it, okay? So, hey, what's up? Thank you. So that got us through all those questions. How do you guys feel about those? Pretty good? Okay, so this was the end. I know I have a few of you in class, and we took this test on Friday. We took a mock exam, the whole 50 minutes, and most of you did really well. So I'm hoping that that translates when you guys actually take the ACT, but we have 10 days, you guys. So we have 10 school days left before the ACT, okay? So we take it in basically 2 weeks from today. So please practice. It's literally 10 days. You just have to focus for 10 days, okay? Please practice at home. Practice with your calculator. Get good at your calculator, okay? Because the better you are at the calculator, the more things you're going to be able to pick up that you couldn't do on your own, you know what I mean? So, and you guys have been practicing with these things, so please make sure you practice at home. Bring me any questions that you're struggling with, and let's figure them out together, okay? Like I said, there is that other probability question that's on test 2, and I'll figure that one out for you guys. And then we actually have on test 2, we have an ellipse problem that we need to get to too. So on Thursday, that's what we'll do to make sure that you guys know how to do those, okay? All right, you guys got any other questions or anything? All right, keep practicing, you guys. 10 more days, okay? All right, see y'all later.